Hello dear learners, I'm Christina Georgy and I welcome you to my channel. In my previous video, we discussed some basic tips and techniques that would help you score really well for your assignment submission. So if you haven't watched that video, please find the link in the description. Today we'll discuss some common mistakes that happen while writing assignments. I'll also help you out with the solutions. First and foremost, fill in the details very carefully. You'll have to write your subject, name, course code, etc. very correctly. Very often we find learners who fail to write the correct course code and relevant details. That could definitely create problems. Secondly, lack of proper organization. Very often, the evaluator finds it really difficult to distinguish the questions from the answers, or rather to find the relevant answers. So that must be avoided. How could you help that? Firstly, you should put the correct question numbers. Answer to the relevant questions by putting the correct question numbers. It would be wonderful if you could copy down the questions first and later provide the answers. It would be great if you could highlight the questions. How can you highlight the questions? Either you could underline them or rather use a different color just to distinguish the question from the answer. And I hope you remember the relevant things that we already discussed in our previous video. That is, you should make your assignments very presentable. Use neat and clean papers, preferably white unruled paper with margins. Take care of your margins. Leave space between lines and questions, and it is also advisable not to use a very inappropriate font size. It would be better if you could write a considerable number of lines per page. You should remember to put the page numbers and to avoid any irrelevant pages, such as if a page contains too much of strike-offs or too many mistakes, remember to replace the page. The next aspect, incomplete answers and blank pages. Very often we see that many learners fail to complete their answers. See, we could understand if this is the case of examination, but with case of assignments, you're at the comfort of your own home and you have enough and more time to complete it. So make sure that you complete your answers and try not to leave blank pages in between. That would create trouble not just for you but also for the examiner. Attempt all questions. Unless your question paper specifies you to follow or rather select and write, you will have to attempt all the questions. By attempting all the questions, you will ensure minimum marks. So you will have to attempt all the questions unless you are asked to choose this many questions out of these. Avoid plagiarism. Never ever copy paste from internet sources or any other books or resources. This would create plagiarism. This is an assignment where you're expected to study the topic and write on your own. So you should avoid cut, copy, paste technique. This would help you score really high because you're answering in a very unique way. Check the spelling and grammar. Before you turn in your assignments, it's very important for you to read and edit your assignment. This would help you to avoid any kind of spelling, punctuation or other grammatical errors, especially in case of English language and literature assignments. It's very important to proofread your assignments before you submit. And of course, tag your papers properly as per the page number. Very often we find learners tagging it in a clumsy way. Try to avoid that. The last and final tip is to submit your assignment on time. It's always better not to wait till the deadline. You have enough and more time. Try to be early to work, and you could work on your own pace and make sure that you submit your assignments on time. And remember, if your university asks you for handwritten submission, make sure that you write it on your own. As I mentioned, handwriting is very important. It does matter, because if you have a good handwriting, you could certainly impress the evaluator, and that would certainly result in high score. So that's all for this video. I hope you got a clear-cut idea regarding the common mistakes that we find in case of assignment submissions. And please follow these tips and techniques that I've been explaining to you in my past few videos. Do watch these videos, prepare yourself, submit better assignments and score really high. So we'll meet again soon with yet another interesting video. So till then, take care, subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching.